the hypocrisy levels from the 19 other Premier League teams are now just becoming absolutely farcical. It really is. News breaking this morning that the other 19 Premier League clubs are going to decide to put an embargo on Newcastle United trying to sign any of the players because of their stance on the takeover. What an absolute pile of crap. This is the Toon Review. Hi everybody, I'm Paul, back again with another video, and I thought I'd do this morning or this afternoon, whatever it is now, because, you know, I couldn't believe the news I was reading this morning when it came across on social media and Sky, etc., that these other monumental Bell End 19 clubs in the Premier League have decided that maybe they're going to put an embargo on Newcastle United to sign any of their players during transfer windows. What an absolute joke. I mean, it is basically destroying every competition law going. And as we know, Newcastle United have some fantastic legal teams behind them who would just wipe the slate clean of this. It's an absolute farce. But having said that, money talks. And I don't care what chairman you are, what money you've got. If we come in for a certain player, we are going to get that certain player if we offer the right kind of money. Because of COVID, etc., we know that a lot of clubs are struggling for money at the minute. So if we come in for one of those guys and offer ridiculous amount of millions of pounds for him, you know, they're not going to turn it down. They're not stupid like that. A lot of these club owners are very, very, very money orientated, and they're going to want as much money as they can for these players and to get money into their club and their back pockets, let's be honest. So it's an absolute joke. It stinks to high heaven. When are these people going to move on? You know, Man City were taken over. Did all this hurrah come over Manchester City? No, it bloody didn't. You know, the Saudis have been investing in Man United for a long time. Did anything come of that? Absolutely not. So the hypocrisy is just ridiculous. I mean, the human rights thing, you know, they tried to catch Eddie Howe on it yesterday, but he stayed well away from it, you know, sticking to football, as he well should do, and that's my stance on it as well. Whatever's going on in Saudi Arabia with human rights, etc., leave that to the politicians. This is all about football. This is our football club, and quite frankly, we deserve what we're going to get with this takeover. That's the way I see it, because we've had 14 years of absolute crap under Mike Ashley, and times are a-changing, people. So hopefully, you know, this link with the Saudis may well be a good thing for human rights. Has anybody else thought about that? You know, nobody in the media has mentioned that. You know, that there's a possibility that because of the links now, that we can actually help the Saudis, or the Saudis can learn from us and do something about the human rights stuff. Learn. Has anybody thought that that might be a good plan? Have the hell, because it's Newcastle United and they want to cripple us. It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So grow up and get on with it. But the other one I wanted to mention today was I wanted to do a video about some potential signings that Newcastle United could be looking to make come January. Now, the players that I'm going to mention here, they're all in England, so we'll have to see what happens with this crazy embargo and see if we can actually go in for these players. But these are players that I believe will help us move further up the table this season and build on for next season. They're not world-class players, you know, they're not the Mbappes of this world or anything like that, because what we do is we have to be realistic here. We have to be realistic and realise that these sort of players, they're not going to want to come to Newcastle at the minute, these massive world-class names. We have to be realistic, realise where we are in the Premier League and move on from there. You know, so these players, I think, will have the capability to come in. Now, the first one I'm going to mention is a defender. He's a right back. It's Max Aarons at Norwich City. Very, very impressed with him. Obviously, we got Jamal Lewis from Norwich as well. He was their left back at the time. I believe Max Aarons is an absolute quality player. Much, much better than Jamal Lewis is. But I'd love to see Jamal Lewis obviously come through as well. But I do believe that Max Aarons has the engine to get up and down that pitch for Eddie Howe like a tank. Now, a lot of people have maybe mentioned his defensive capabilities aren't great. However, you know, we've got a great coaching setup now at Newcastle United. That can be achieved. You know, he can learn from some of the players already at the club, and he can learn from the coaching staff. But Max Aarons, he's young, he's hungry, he wants to win. And to come to Newcastle United we'll give him the opportunity to do that. I do believe we can go and get him. Another player is central defender, Conor Cody. Many people know, who watch my channel, know how much of a fan I am of Conor Cody. Wolves fans are probably not going to like this, but he's a leader. He's somebody that is definitely an Eddie Howe player and could come in and work wonders with that back line. You know, he's very vocal. He bollocks people on the pitch. He knows how to lead a football team, which we don't have at the minute. We don't have a leader on that pitch. I don't care if you're a Lascelles fan or not. He is not a leader. And we need a leader on that pitch who is going to go out and do that kind of job for Newcastle United. And Conor Cody is an England defender. He's class in my opinion, but he's class on and off the pitch. He's a leader on and off the pitch. Somebody we desperately need. So Conor Cody would be on my list as well. The next one is in midfield, James Ward-Prowse at Southampton. Now, we know that Southampton are a very up and down team at the minute. They're on a good run at the minute in the Premier League. But Ward-Prowse, obviously in the England squad again, fantastic player. Set pieces. And let's face it, guys, we need somebody desperately on set pieces because they just haven't been good enough for Newcastle United at all. Nowhere near good enough. So definitely Ward-Prowse for me. He's a box-to-box midfielder. He's very agile on the pitch. Fantastic passer of the ball. Fantastic free kick taker. Just somebody we need in the middle of the park. Another one is James Maddison at Leicester City. You know, for me, we've lacked that real number 10 for a long time now. As people may well know, I don't think Miggy's going to make it. I'm certainly going to give Miggy time under Eddie Howe to see if Eddie Howe can improve him or the coaching staff can improve him, but I don't think he's the answer at the moment. So for me, James Maddison would be a perfect player for Eddie Howe if he plays a number 10. He's, again, great finisher of the ball, great vision, he works hard, good passer, and he's just somebody that I think can unlock defences and would be a definite ally for Callum Wilson because he'd be able to spot the runs of Callum Wilson, as would James Ward-Prowse, because that's what we're also missing at the minute. Callum Wilson doesn't, you know, when he makes these runs, nobody sees him, and it gets very frustrating for him. He's running the channels, etc., and he can't get the ball. So I think it'd be fantastic if we could have a player like James Maddison. Now, also, another player that I think could possibly go for in January would be Divock Origi from Liverpool. I've had to think about this, and at first I kind of poo-pooed the idea of Origi, but when I thought about it, I thought, yeah, you know, he's a very good finisher, as he proved at West Ham the other week when he got a goal back for Liverpool out of nothing, really. He's got Champions League experience. He scored goals in the Champions League, but he doesn't really get the amount of time on the pitch that I think he'd like at Liverpool, but he probably would here. We have to remember that Callum Wilson isn't going to play every game every season because he's very much injury prone with muscle problems. Divock Origi would come in and do a job while Wilson was out injured. I have no doubt about that. But again, this is why I'm saying these kind of players, because we have to be realistic where we are at the moment. We're not in a position to go out and bring in these world-class players until we start moving up that Premier League and start trying to achieve something so the players can recognise what we're doing. Yes, money talks, but we have to be realistic as well. But I think the players I've mentioned there would be a spine of the team. And we can work around that spine of the team with what we've got already, I'm sure of it. And that would certainly get us out of the mire we're in. Now, would these clubs sell these players? Who knows? But again, it depends how much money we go in with and what we can offer the player. What kind of future can we offer the player? I'm sure that Eddie Howe and his coaching staff, or whoever's in an ambassadorial role for Newcastle to talk about the club, would be able to achieve that and bring these players in, because that's what we need. You know, we need somebody to convince them to come to the Newcastle project, the plan, the future, let them know that they're going to be winning things with Newcastle United within a couple of years. And I genuinely believe we can attract them players, but certainly build a spine around them. I mean, I'm not saying that these are the 5 players that Newcastle United are going to go out in January and sign. We may bring overseas players in, obviously, as well. But, you know, just players that I've thought about to play in the Premier League already, that have the Premier League experience and would be willing to fight to get us out the quagmire that we're in. I think those 5 players would be a great start, right down the spine of the team, and give us that sort of injection of quality that we need, certainly in the middle of the park and, you know, in defence as well. But they're that's just off the top of my head. But let me know down in the comments who maybe you think we should go for in January. What do you think of this stupid embargo that the Premier League teams are trying to put on Newcastle? I think it's absolutely farcical, to be honest, but never mind. We'll see what happens with that. But let me know. Let me know which players you would love to see come in. Keep it realistic, though, because, bearing in mind where we are in the league, we have to be realistic with that. If you have enjoyed the video, though, please don't forget to hit that like button for me. Help me to continue to build this channel. It's going really well. If you're new and you like what you see and you haven't already done so, please do consider subscribing. Just hit the button, notification bell, and you'll be notified of every live stream and every video that is brought out on the channel. But in the meantime, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I will come back with any videos, with any news that comes out of the club, certainly about a director of football, etc. But until then, take care.